following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah!
This is the Players Lounge, broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now your hosts, Barry Church, Danny McCray, and Newy Scruggs.
All right, it's Players Lounge brought to you by Hotels.com. Our last show together of the week. Tomorrow we're going to break things up. We're going to spread the shows around, so it's the last time you'll see me, Newy Scruggs, along with former Dallas Cowboys players Danny McCray and Barry Church. We will make our predictions on the show today. I will pick my prediction first, right there. Since Church got jokes before the show. Okay? You know, it's real funny. Like Michael Jordan said, you know, you can talk a whole lot of trash when you up 10 or something like that. But, you know, let's see what you're going to do from the beginning. Okay, so Church got a little win last week. Now he's sitting there feeling himself, you know. But it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. Eagles, Cowboys at AT&T Stadium on Sunday. Jalen Hurts will quarterback the Philadelphia Eagles. It'll be Andy Dalton going for the Dallas Cowboys. All right, gentlemen, I want to hit something right out of the gate that affects the Cowboys organization and even goes deeper than I thought. Kellen Moore is the offensive coordinator. And when you talk about wins for a college quarterback in college football history, Kellen Moore is in the top 5, one of the best to ever do it at Boise State. The man is a legend. And I've always thought that when Brian Harsin left, Kellen Moore would be at the top of the list. Well, Brian Harsin is now the head coach at Auburn University. He's left Boise State. So immediately I tweeted out, Kellen Moore's got to be on the list. And you start talking about a guy who's been a Boise State alum. He's got NFL coaching experience. You look at what he's done with Dak Prescott here. This is a guy who, in my opinion, should get this job. And we've talked about this before on the Players Lounge. If you're Mike McCarthy, you should hope Kellen Moore gets this job. Because, Danny, you said you wanted to see Mike McCarthy call the plays. Kellen Moore's been calling the plays. And I'll throw this last thing in here before I give it to you, McCray. Kellen Moore's contract is up after the season with the Cowboys. All right, go.
Yeah, listen, Mike McCarthy is known for being a guy who can run the offense. He won the Super Bowl, calling the plays up there with Aaron Rodgers. So that's what I expected him to do when he got here. I wanted to see something new, you know, versus what we had seen in the previous years when Kellen Moore was the offensive coordinator. And nothing against him. He does have some creative things that he does, but I wanted Mike McCarthy to put his own stamp on this offense. So I think Kellen Moore leaving would be great for Mike McCarthy. It would give him the opportunity to show what he learned when he was watching all that film in the barn, and hopefully that could propel us to some to some wins and possibly a Super Bowl. But right now, I just think he's not as involved as he should be in calling those plays on offense.
Well, for me, I say this is a no-brainer for Kellen Moore. I mean, I feel like this is right up his alley. He's going right back to his college town where he was a legend. He's probably in some form of a Ring of Honor in Boise State as a player. So I think this is a no-brainer for him. He'll get all the love going back to Boise State. And this is a team that each and every year they're competitive. So it's not like he's going to a place where he has to rebuild from his own and he has to start all over. This is a team that's competitive. So I think that'll give him the advantage out there as well. Plus, he's a younger guy. We see the direction that the coaching hires are going in. They're going for younger guys so they can recruit players and they can have that young feel to him and that young energy for the team. So I think this is a no-brainer. He should take his talents down to Boise State and become the head coach there. I mean, not only will he have vital experience if he does take that head coaching job for the next 4 to 5 years, then if he's successful there, who knows? He may be able to bump up and get a head coaching job. I mean, we've seen it happen before with the guy, I think his name's Zach Johnson or something like that for Cincinnati's head coach. And then we got the guy in Arizona who was a Texas Tech head coach. He was up there. So for me, this is a no-brainer. I think Kellen, I think he would prosper and he would do well out there in Boise State.
Who would you rather have calling the plays for us, Kellen Moore, or would you like to see Mike McCarthy get a shot at doing it?
I would like to see Mike McCarthy get a shot at doing it because, I mean, we've seen what Kellen Moore has to offer for this team. For the 9 times out of 10, it's like he's playing Madden back there. He just wants to pass, and we're not getting enough stability in our offense. We have no identity with our offense. So, look, I think Mike McCarthy would be better suited for our team calling the plays, but right now we got to do or die with old Kellen Moore.
Hey, Newy. By the way, there's another couple of openings at a big time college program, specifically at the offensive coordinator position. That guy Linehan, thank goodness. I don't know why we hired him in the first place, but he is officially gone from the Louisiana State University
like
Fighting Tigers.
Y'all gonna we got
rid of both Pelini and Linehan. All right, Ogeron don't play. All right, he don't play. If you don't get your job done, you out of there. So Kellen, if you ain't going to Boise State, call up my guy Ed Ogeron, man. He's looking for a top-notch offensive coordinator who wants to throw the ball all over the place.
The thing I'll never understand about that whole Linehan deal was, did Ed not pick up the phone? Did he not call somebody to see what the issues were here? But hey, this is where I'll give Ed Ogeron a lot of credit, okay? And people won't do this enough. To raise your hand and say, you know, it's not working. I made a bad hire. Get the hire out of there as quickly as you can. Bo Pelini, they got to pay him a chunk of money. They got to pay him a multi-million dollars to leave town. And I just think that's what leadership is all about, in my opinion. If you make a mistake, be man enough to just raise your hand and move on from it. So I wasn't going to bring it up, Danny, but I did chuckle last night when I saw Scott Linehan's name on there. I was like, I don't know why they went down that road, but oh well.
Let me tell you something about the LSU faithful, all right? Those boosters, they'll find that money to get somebody out or get somebody in if they want it done. All right, so listen, it's nothing to those guys to pay Bo Pelini to get up out of there because they were very frustrated with what they seen on that football field this year.
Well, Mike Nolan's available. Mike Nolan will be available if Ed wants to.
No.
Another Cowboys.
No.
Oh, you ain't endorsing Mike Nolan, huh, D-Mac? You ain't gonna endorse Mike Nolan to come down there and run that defense?
Not for nothing that has to do with the sport of football. If it got to do with football, Mike Nolan cannot be involved in it at the LSU Fighting Tigers.
What? You
Death Valley.
got multiple looks. You got blitzes from all these different. You don't want that down in LSU, man.
Corey Raymond should be the top guy up there who should be interviewing for the defensive coordinator position. That's who I'm voting for.
Let me steer this back to Kellen Moore and something you had just brought up in terms of calling the plays. If you listen to Mike McCarthy, he keeps telling you over and over, I like calling plays. It's what I do. So that's what needs to happen. Mike McCarthy, now that the pandemic this pandemic season is almost over, he has the opportunity to know what he's got, and this is the opportunity to me. He goes in there and calls the plays. That's what he was brought in there to do in terms of why you liked him. Let him call the plays. Kellen Moore, go be the head coach at Boise State. You and I have talked about this right here on this podcast before. What Kellen Moore likes to do with all these creative offensive plays, it's tailor-made for college football. It is absolutely great. His love for throwing a football, it's the Mountain West Conference. They sling that sucker around there. I used to cover the Mountain West Conference. Kellen Moore is going to do fantastic. And I think that if you're at Boise State, Kellen Moore is a great hire for you because Kellen Moore can sit up in here in these living rooms and say, I can get you to the league. I did it myself from Boise State. I've coached in this league. I've coached Pro Bowl players in this league. I've put up big points in this league. I know what I'm doing. So to me, Kellen Moore is a no-brainer hire. I think this can be a 100% win situation. Kellen Moore gets a job. He's going to make himself, and I'm assuming, and I haven't checked this, it's going to be minimum $3 million a year out there in the Mountain West. So, 4 or 5 year contract, make it $3 million per. Mike McCarthy gets to call his own plays, and I think this is a positive for the Cowboys and a positive for Kellen Moore. I'd like to see Mike McCarthy call on the plays, and if I'm Jerry Jones, you're in a pickle because, look, you guys have seen this before. Jerry has been willing to throw a lot of money to keep guys that he really wants. He did it with Jason Garrett. He did it with Mike Zimmer. He did it with Sean Payton. Sean Payton turned down a job at the Oakland Raiders to stay with the Cowboys. Mike Zimmer turned down the opportunity to be the head coach of the University of Nebraska to stay with the Cowboys, and Jerry paid them handsomely. So this, I think, will be different. Here's why I think this is different. This is home for Kellen Moore. This is his school. So I don't think I don't think Jerry can pistol whip it with the money because it's home. And when mama calls, you go.
I kind of hope he doesn't pay him though. I kind of hope he just says, you know what, Kellen, you spent your time here well, you groomed yourself, and now it's time for you to move on and do the bigger and better things. I hope he doesn't try to keep him here. Because look, no disrespect to Kellen, but I mean, we haven't done that much for him to be considered like we got to keep him here. I mean, how many times on this show have we complained they're not running the ball enough? They don't get the ball to their star players enough. Kellen, what were you thinking on this call right here? I mean, we've gone over it weeks and weeks at a time. Look, I'm sure he'll do great in the Mountain West, like you said, Newy. They like to fling the ball all over the place. His offense is tailor-made for that type of conference. But here, I mean, you got a $90 million back in the backfield, and he gets 12 carries a game. So, I hope he doesn't throw the bag at him and say, hey, Kellen, just stick around for a little bit. I hope he kind of lets him go on to bigger and better things.
I'm so glad I didn't have to be the negative guy to start that on Kellen Moore because I sent the text message this weekend and I heard the commentator say, the Cowboys haven't scored an opening drive touchdown in 17 games. And I'm like, goodness gracious, we ain't scored a touchdown on the first drive, so you can almost guarantee that we're going to be punting or going for a field goal attempt on the first drive of the game, which makes absolutely for being an offensive juggernaut. All right, with 3 1,000-yard receivers, the $90 million back and all that, we can't come out and start fast and score a touchdown. That says something about the play caller.
Danny,
just saying.
Danny, if you
I didn't
want
to
the
be
guy
the guy,
to go,
but Church opened the door.
If you want Kellen Moore to go and you want Boise to hire him, this kind of talk isn't helping. Okay, this isn't helping.
They're not listening.
Hey, you gotta gas him up like Zeke did. You gotta gas him up like Zeke did, man. Hey, that's a hell of a coach, man. He can outrun through a wall for that guy.
Thank you.
Hey, man, he's one of the best offensive coordinators in the game.
Come on.
Meanwhile, you're having one of the worst seasons you had as a pro. I mean, you gotta read between the lines on this one, man.
Come on, listen, Barry and Newy. Let me tell you something. If the person that's hiring Kellen Moore is listening to the Players Lounge, they already in trouble. All right, they need to go get their information from somebody else. All right, vet this guy. Unlike we did at LSU, all right, if you go in there and say, man, on the Player Lounge, they was over there talking bad about Kellen Moore, so we not gonna hire him. You should probably be fired.
I don't know. We predicted a lot of things on this show. I
am here for Kellen Moore. And also, we saw another NFL coach become a head coach in college, quarterback coach of the Patriots. Jed Fish is now the head coach for Arizona, replacing Kevin Sumlin. So I just think this is the time for Kellen Moore. I think the fit is there, and it's also something that they can sell the alums. You sell the alum on a great player. You sell the alum on the fact that here's a guy who's been in the National Football League. He's helped produce Pro Bowl players. This is it. This is too simple. This is too easy.
Hey, Newy, let me ask you a question.
Make that move.
Let me ask you a question, Newy. Is it hard, because you would know more about this than any of us, is it hard once you drop down to the college level to get back into the NFL as a coach? Like once you make that move back down to college, is it hard to get back to the league?
No, because a guy like Kellen Moore is going as a head coach. And hopefully during this time, he's made, plenty of connections. So you've got Jason Garrett, you've got a guy like that's been connected. You've got a guy like Matt Eberflus who's in Indiana, so you know him because you've worked with him. So I'm thinking that he's building and built a nice culture of people. But ultimately, when guys go home like this, they give you all the benefits of the doubt. I go back to what Cliff Kingsbury had over at Texas Tech. So they finally go get him to replace Tommy Tuberville, and things didn't go very well for him, but they kept giving him chances until they couldn't give him any chances anymore. So I think for Kellen Moore, he'll be fine. And then see what happened with Cliff Kingsbury. Guy ends up going coaching the National Football. Well, he took a job as the offensive coordinator at USC and then never coached a day there because Arizona came and made him their head coach. So I think Kellen Moore will be fine. He's been one of these guys that's been given guru label. People say he's creative. So he's got these positive labels that people like. So I don't think it'll be a problem for him to go from college to the NFL because what are the things you always sell? Well, you know what? I'm quite ready to be a head coach, but I've been a proven coordinator. So he's got that kind of stuff that he can throw out there. So I believe Kellen will be fine. But ultimately, you want to be a head coach. You guys know this. You want to be a head coach, whether it's at a at college or the pros, guys want that. But ultimately, to me, the biggest thing is home. I cannot underestimate to you guys what home means. I mean, Danny, Ed Ogeron, man, this guy was an LSU fan growing up through and through. So this job meant a whole lot to him. He loved USC, but LSU, that was home. And he did everything he could to get that job. And I just think that's what the fan base wants. They want a guy who's a home guy. So I just think that if they come to Kellen Moore, I think the deal gets done. I really do.
Okay.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm for it.
Look, if you Mike McCarthy, the best thing you can do, if you Mike McCarthy, you get on the phone with the AD. You just tell him that he's ready. He's ready. I've been making him ready. I turned over the play calling to him this year. He's ready to go. I mean, seriously, man, do it. I remember when Sean Payton got hired in New Orleans, Tom Benson actually said at a press conference, I was starting to wonder, man, they talking so good about you. They were trying to get rid of you or something like that. Because he just couldn't believe how much, which I heard Bill Parcells was kind of like, I'm tired of Sean being in my ear trying to call these crazy plays. But they said nothing but glowing things about him. So to me, if you Mike McCarthy, you take 10 minutes today to go track down them folks in Boise and just say, hire him. He ready. He's been in my barn. I got him a whole playbook. He going to have analytics ready for you. He going to have trick plays on special teams. So these punts are going to work in the Mountain West. So
gas them up.
That is true.
Man.
A lot of the stuff that Kellen has been running this year will work. Actually, it'll work at almost any college program. All right,
Yes.
Here it's just been a little different, and it's been a down year to where the offense would have to carry a lot for the defense. So Kellen Moore's doing what he can. My only knock on Kellen Moore is him not being able to get the star players involved, which I think would propel us to a different type of offense.
Gas them up.
We got to take a break here. Danny, I did do a little bit of research when you talked about Cooper not getting the football. So I checked and ran a couple numbers on that for you. So we'll get into that. We've got to make our predictions. But up next, there may be some guys not playing in this game against the Philadelphia Eagles for the Cowboys, and this could have an effect on the football game. Let's do it next right here on the Players Lounge, brought to you by Hotels.com on DallasCowboys.com radio.
Hey there, Cowboys fans. With Tide Cleaners at-home pickup and delivery, cleaning your clothes has never been more convenient. Simply sign up at your local store, set out your dirty clothes, and one of our Tide Cleaners professionals will come directly to your home for a totally contactless experience. Your clean garments will be returned promptly the next scheduled delivery day, so skip the errand and enjoy life, not laundry. Visit TideCleaners.com or your local store to sign up for Tide Cleaners at-home pickup and delivery today.
Just like all of you, we at SeatGeek can't wait until we're back in the stands at full strength cheering on the Cowboys and singing along to our favorite songs again. We're using this time to make discovering, buying, and selling tickets to events in Dallas easier. Plus, every ticket purchased on SeatGeek is protected by our buyer guarantee, which means you'll get your money back or better if your event is canceled. Guaranteed. Download the SeatGeek app today, and when the time is right, let's go. SeatGeek.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way.
Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
We're back with a tasty treat that's sweeping airwaves and taste buds. It's new Dr. Pepper and Cream Soda. Let's take a listen.
Dr. Pepper and Cream Soda's here. A new combo that's music to my ears, okay. Let's play. Cream Soda and Dr. Pepper time. Pour it in a glass of ice.
Music to my ears and mouth. New Dr. Pepper and Cream Soda.
A delicious duet.
Back to the Players Lounge.
AT&T continues to innovate new ways to connect Cowboys Nation with new and exciting game day experiences, including Star View, presented by AT&T 5G. Available in stadium and for home use. Download the Dallas Cowboys mobile app and look for Star View under the Stadium tab. All right, you're checking out the Players Lounge. We are in our SWBC Mortgage Virtual Home Studios. I'm Newy Scruggs, longtime Cowboys reporter, joined by two former Dallas Cowboys players, Danny McCray and Barry Church. Cowboys taking on the Eagles on Sunday. Xavier Woods, no practice, rib. He may not play. Okay, he may not play. Leighton Vander Esch, not practicing today, high ankle sprain. He may not play in this game. And defensive tackle Antoine Woods probably won't play, rib injury for him. So you've got that. Zeke, though, says he thinks he's on track to play. Fellas, that's guys at 3 levels on this defense. Starters at 3 levels on the defense. Defensive tackle, linebacker, safety. Okay.
Hey, Newy, you got Church started taking notes. Over there.
Hey, hold on, man. Those 3 names, man, the percentages are still on the rise. Y'all out here acting like Woods done been Earl Thomas or something, and Antoine Woods is the reincarnation of John Randall or something out there. Man, come on now. These guys, like Vander Esch, that is a blow. I will say that is a blow. Vander Esch has been playing a little bit better lately, but that's a blow to us. But the percentages are still on the rise. I don't see Kansas City Chiefs on that schedule. I don't see the New Orleans Saints as our remaining schedule. We still got a great chance to beat Philadelphia, which I think we will this Sunday. And New York, I mean, they're a shell of themselves. So look, man, the percentages are still on the rise. I don't see anything that scares the living daylights out of me in Philadelphia outside of Jalen Hurts, but it's still, he's containable. So overall, man, nothing has changed. Percentages are on the rise. I'm from 35% to up to 45, maybe even 50%. We still gonna take this dub. Nothing out there scares me.
Did you hear what Church just said? He said he doesn't see the New Orleans Saints on that schedule. Do you know who the New Orleans Saints lost to?
They had no tape on my guy.
Oh.
You know this, Danny.
Okay.
You know this. When a guy comes in as a backup and you're not expecting to play against this guy, you like, who? They let him up. They let him off the hook. That was it.
They had enough tape to beat Jalen Hurts. All right, the dude went out there and he outplayed him. He went out there. He had a hell of a game. You can give him credit and say he had a hell of a game.
Yeah, I will say that. Yeah, he did.
And the Saints defense compared to our defense. Do you want to go ahead and like put that on the scale?
Yeah. The Saints are way better than our defense.
Okay. So Jalen Hurts is coming. We still have minimal film on Jalen Hurts, and he's coming to play us. It's the same thing. So the percentages.
Arizona got the tape on them. They played them decently. They got the dub. Same thing here. I'm not saying we're going to blow this team out, but I'm saying he's defeatable. He's containable, and I think we won't be able to do it.
27-21 Philadelphia win. Okay, there you go. 27-21, I got Philly win.
Oh, he came out quick with it.
Oh, you came out.
He came out quick with it.
Oh, Newy throwing jabs. Okay, all right, quick jabs. I see. You said 27-21 Philly, huh?
I'm not throwing any jab as much as I just go back to what Mike Nolan had game planned for Baltimore, and that was tragic. And now you're facing a team that's got better receivers than what Baltimore had that day. And I just don't see them being able to get it done. We've seen this club have issues stopping the run. 150 yards for San Francisco last week. Now you got Jalen Hurts who can use his legs, and we've seen him use his arm as well. You got to prove to me you can stop the run and win this kind of football game. I'm just not sold. Now, if they can get turnovers again, you got a shot at winning. But this is one right now where I'm despite 2 victories in a row, this kid, Jalen Hurts, has brought some juice to this team, and I just don't trust the defensive coordinator.
It's okay. It's okay to doubt. I mean, first we doubted because we couldn't win. We haven't won 2 back-to-back games since 2017. First y'all doubted that. It was okay. And we came out here and got the dub. So we're just going to have to go out here and prove y'all wrong again. That's all that's going to have to happen.
This ain't Nick Mullins this week.
Who's starting in place of Xavier Woods if he doesn't play?
I believe it's going to be Darian Thompson.
Okay, all right.
If he doesn't play.
You got faith in Darian Thompson?
No, y'all all know I have zero faith in Darian Thompson.
I know. I know. I'm just listen. You said that Xavier Woods being out is not that big of a deal. So that guy that you have no faith in would essentially be the starter.
Yeah, we're gonna keep him. We're gonna keep him in the post. We're gonna keep him in the post. You know that's what Daddy. You know that's how they do it. If they trying to hide a safety back there, they're gonna just throw him in the post back there and let him play the deep middle. And that's all he's gonna do this upcoming week.
Listen, you got a lot of faith. Convince yourself, player. I love it.
I had to convince myself last week, and we came through with the dub.
Say it with your
So I'm going to do the same thing this week.
Please, stick with it. Hey, listen, that sinking ship, stay on it, bro. I love the way that you stand on that sinking ship, even though you had to hop back on it for the third time this season. But yeah, I'm glad you stand on it.
It was the second time. Second time I jumped back on it. Second time.
Since we're doing our picks, I
thought it was on D-Mac. It's on D-Mac to make that.
All right. Listen, I'm 30-23. Philly. Philly takes this one. I don't think that 23 points really tells the story of the game. I think we come and score some trash points at the end. But I think Jalen Hurts and Miles Sanders come in here and they do some things to us that we just haven't been able to stop all season.
All right, so y'all both going on them. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and say this: Jalen Hurts, I think he will have a good game against us. Not spectacular, nothing like we've seen at Arizona or anything, but I think he will have a good game against us. But I say at the end, our defense provides 2 or 3 turnovers, and it ends up giving our offense a short field. So what I'm saying is we're going to end up winning this game 24-17, Dallas Cowboys.
So we're going to hold the Eagles to 17 points. Okay. Who the last team we held to 17?
All right. Let me write it down.
Mm-hmm.
How many points did Cincinnati score?
I don't know how much. 7. They scored 7. Yeah, they scored 7.
Cincinnati scored 7. And we gave up 33 last week. 20. How many?
I think it was around 23. I think it was 23.
All right. I'm just trying to. How many games we've held teams under 17 points? Because you be giving us a lot of credit to our defense.
Somebody got to gas them up, man. Somebody got to gas them up. I'm the guy to do it.
So Cincinnati and Philly will be probably 2 of our lowest scoring games, and our defense will play the best. All right, I got you. I feel you, bro.
Hey, that's going to happen. Just like last week. It's going to happen again. We're going to walk away with this dub, though. And that's all that matters. It might be 35-31 or something like that, but we're going to walk away with this dub, though.
So are you switching your pick?
And then no. I'm still riding with the Cowboys. I'm just saying it might be a bigger score than I predicted. But after we walk away with this dub, Washington, the pressure's going to be on you. It's going to be on you. And you know what? And they did a great thing by flexing that game, man. They did a great thing so nobody can't be, scoreboard watching or seeing what's going to happen. It's going to be a good one.
Mike McCarthy talked about that today. He said, look, we have to take care of our business against Philadelphia. It's like it doesn't matter if we're scoreboard watching if we don't take care of our business. So he's got guys thinking about what needs to happen this week, which is just focusing on the Philadelphia Eagles. And I still have issues with the defensive coordinator. We are going to see the Eagles get their cornerback Darius Slay back. He's been in that concussion protocol, but apparently he's ready to practice and get out there this week. And so let's see what he does.
I hope we see him.
Amari Cooper.
He ain't gonna get no work.
I hope we see him.
He ain't gonna get no work anyways. They not gonna throw the ball to Amari Cooper anyways.
He's been one of the worst corners in the league this year. How many primetime games have we seen guys just going ham on Darius Slay this year? I mean, Metcalf was one of them. Hopkins. I mean, they're just going ham on Slay. So I hope we see him out there. And I hope we target Amari Cooper.
Yeah, I'm going to say, do you think that if Darius Slay is holding Amari Cooper, that we will finally just start taking advantage of that matchup? Do you think we'll see that from Kellen Moore this week?
Nah, I'm not going to lie to you and say that. I think Kellen's going to throw him the ball, man. We might see Noah Brown get 10 catches out there, man. He might break the record messing around. You never know who's going to get the Belldozer might get 10 receptions out there, man. That's crazy.
I've got some numbers I want to hit you on about Amari Cooper. So let's take a break, and I'll give you the numbers that I dived into. And let me tell you, I was surprised at the last kind of breakouts that I did on this. Let's do it next right here on the Players Lounge on DallasCowboys.com radio.
It's game day. You know what that means. First, kebab prep. Steak, pepper, onion, steak, pepper, onion. Next, a counterclockwise lap around the room. Now the lucky grease-stained jersey goes on. And lastly, the dance. You know the one. This is a game day ritual no matter where you are. Whether you're traveling to the game or watching from your favorite vacation spot, book a place to stay on Hotels.com and keep the tradition alive and well. Hotels.com. proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Since 1865, Stetson hats are American-made with pride right here in Texas. And Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Want to show your Texas and team pride too? You can. By purchasing your own Stetson, you can look just like how the flag guys do on field at every home game. Stetson hats, the official crown of all self-respecting Cowboys, and your favorite football team.
Get yours today at shop.dallascowboys.com or at stetson.com.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way.
Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Hey there, Cowboys fans. With Tide Cleaners at-home pickup and delivery, cleaning your clothes has never been more convenient. Simply sign up at your local store, set out your dirty clothes, and one of our Tide Cleaners professionals will come directly to your home for a totally contactless experience. Your clean garments will be returned promptly the next scheduled delivery day, so skip the errand and enjoy life, not laundry. Visit TideCleaners.com or your local store to sign up for Tide Cleaners at-home pickup and delivery today.
To the Players Lounge.
Hey, Santa is back at his Dallas Cowboys cottage at the Star in Frisco. Appointments are available to take your socially distant holiday photo with Santa through December 24th. That's tomorrow. Book now at thestarinfrisco.com/Santa. You are checking out the Players Lounge, brought to you by Hotels.com. I'm Newy Scruggs, longtime Cowboys reporter, joined by Danny McCray and Barry Church as we get ready to finish up our final show of the week. Tomorrow, we're all on different shows. So I'll be going at 11:30 tomorrow, but I won't have Danny and D-Mac riding by, so that's why we did our predictions early. So I went and dived into just the target numbers. And that's something that we've been looking at with Amari Cooper, and just how we don't feel he's gotten enough targets this year for being a $100 million receiver. So I decided to just, all right, let me dive into this. What are the top guys in the league getting? There are 2 guys tied for number 1 in terms of targets. Keenan Allen, Stephon Diggs. Allen with the Chargers, losing team. Diggs with the Bills, winning team. 147 targets. That's what each guy has gotten this year. And then I went and looked at, okay, what's the next guy after that? It's Deandre Hopkins, 138 targets. Well, who's number 4? Well, I was shocked to look at, it's a Chicago Bear wide receiver. It is Allen Robinson with those bad quarterbacks with 133 targets. At number 9, Terry McMillan of Washington, who's gone through 3 quarterbacks this year, 126 targets. Number 13 is Amari Cooper, right above, right behind Robbie Anderson of Carolina. So Cooper has 115 targets this season. I went to look and see, okay, how many, what are the most receptions Coops had this year? 12 receptions. That was in week 4.
Cleveland.
And his second highest was 10 in week 1. And here's kind of the scary thing when I just broke it out. In Dak's starts, 55 targets, 39 catches. Without Dak starting, and we're talking 9 games versus 5 games. So in 9 games without Dak starting, 60 targets, 43 catches. That, folks, that's
makes
bad.
no sense.
That's bad.
Makes no sense.
That is absolutely bad. So here are the targets. Let me go. These are the targets with Dak. Rams, 14 targets. Atlanta, 9 targets. Seattle, 12 targets. Cleveland, 16 targets. New York Giants, 4. Remember, Dak got hurt in that game. Since then, Arizona, 10 targets. Washington, 7 targets. Philly, 5 targets. Pittsburgh, 6 targets. Minnesota, 7 targets. Washington, 8 targets. Baltimore, 9 targets. Cincinnati, 5 targets. San Francisco, 3 targets.
And don't forget, you got to watch the game. All right, because even you remember we talked about Jalen Ramsey in the first game and them not going at Jalen Ramsey if Amari Cooper was on there. A lot of the routes that Amari Cooper ran in that game were hitch routes, short slant routes, and out routes. Specifically at the end of the game, I think he racked up about 6 or 7 targets on the last 2 drives of short routes. And that goes the same for pretty much for the rest of his game, for the rest of his time with Andy Dalton being in there. Like, you could see him have 6 or 7 targets, and it's like, I see one game he had 5 targets in the first half. He had like 100-some yards, I think, and a touchdown, and then we gave him like 2 targets in the second half. So when you're watching the game, even these numbers don't make sense. It's just like you can see them not getting him involved, and the numbers may say that it looks horrible, but it's way worse when you actually watch the games.
All right, so I got a question for both of you. I got a question. We might have to do a little bit more digging to really find the answer, but so I was listening to those names you rattled off there earlier, and you had, Arizona with Hopkins, you had the Chargers with Keenan Allen, I think you had Chicago with Allen Robinson, and then you had McLaurin with Washington. And what I want to know is, do y'all think, force feeding the star receivers directly correlates to winning? Because if you look at these teams that we named here, I think there might be one playoff team. Well, Washington, but that's because it's a terrible division. But there's one playoff team out of all those. So I guess I would want to know, like, what are the targets for the teams like Seattle, like the DK Metcalfs, or who else is a high playoff team, like LA Rams with Robert Woods and all that. I just want to know, do you think that correlates directly to winning force feeding, or do you think force feeding is a detriment of some of these teams?
Go ahead,
okay, let's go here. Let's go here then, Church. So D Hopkins. Then you got Travis Kelce, I see. You got Stephon Diggs. You got DK Metcalf. These are as far as yards, receivers that have more yards than Amari Cooper, and they're pretty much getting more targets per game or whatever.
I got you.
So you got DK Metcalf, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, Justin Jefferson, Allen Robinson, all these guys. Go ahead, Newy.
Let me give you your everybody ahead of Cooper, okay? So Cooper is at 13, all right? So Keenan Allen is 1. They're out of the playoffs. Stephon Diggs is tied for 1. Bills are in the playoffs. DeAndre Hopkins is number 3. They're right now. They're right there getting in.
They're fighting.
Bears 4 out. Travis Kelce is at 5. They're in. Devontae Adams is at 6. With 131 targets, they're in. Darren Waller is at 7, 129. They're out. He's tied with Tyreek Hill at 7 at 129. They're in. 9, Terry McLaurin at 126. Right now, they're in first place.
Yeah.
Deontay Johnson with the Deontay Johnson is tied with McLaurin at 126 targets at 9. Steelers right now, they're in. Calvin Ridley is at 11 with 122 targets, they're out. Robbie Anderson of Carolina is number 12 at 119 targets, they're out. And then here comes Cooper at 13 with 115, and Cooper Kupp is tied with him at 115. Rams are in. Robert Woods is 15 behind him, 114. Rams in. Tyler Lockett, Seattle, is at 113. DK Metcalf is at 17, 112. They look like they're going to be in. Then comes Tyler Boyd at Cincinnati, 107. Juju Smith-Schuster is at 18 at 107. Justin Jefferson is 20 with Minnesota at 103. And then after that's Cole Beasley. So it's a pretty good mix.
Yeah, it's a good mix. But I would say the majority of those teams that you named with high volume targets to their star receivers, they're pretty much in. I would say the majority of those teams are playoff teams. So I guess it does. I guess it does correlate to get your stars the ball.
Listen, Church. I don't even listen. This is it. All right, the man is making $100 million. All right, he's number what is he on the list? He's number 15 as far as yardage this season on the list.
Targets.
I'm talking about just yardage as far as production now. Cole Beasley is right behind him with 3 less receptions at number 16. So you got Darren Waller, Keenan Allen, Robbie Anderson is above our $100 million guy as far as production this season. And to me, when you look at that, I think how we're talking about it, that goes into him getting the opportunities to get the ball. And it's, like I said, this doesn't make sense for a $100 million guy. As you look at this list, it's guys on here that I know Amari Cooper is better than, and he has the ability to play better than and put up better numbers than.
This would not happen in an Andy Reid offense. Andy Reid would get her the ball. Just like, look at what they've done with Hill and Kelsey. All right, Kelsey number 5, Tyreek Hill number 7. They're getting their guys the football. They're telling you this is what we're going to do, where we're going to go. The fact that Allen Robinson is number 4 at 133.
Yeah.
With those quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And their offensive, their running back Montgomery's just started to really show something in the last 5 games. I think they've limited him. So, look, it doesn't make sense to me when I think about what they have here. And look.
Even McLaurin.
Right.
McLaurin got more targets than Cooper.
I think Cooper would get more if McCarthy was calling the plays. That's just me. Just looking at McCarthy and what his history. Look at what they did with Jordy Nelson. Fed Jordy Nelson. Donald Driver was the guy up there. They were feeding Donald Driver. So, and now Devontae Adams. So I just really believe if the beneficiary of Kellen Moore becoming the head coach of Boise State possibly would be Amari Cooper seeing a lot more footballs in the way it goes here. And look, this is something you've got to think about here if you are the Cowboys from this standpoint. How do you look at Cooper and how do you look at Gallup after 2021? Because you can get out of Cooper's contract. It's really a 2-year deal. Okay, it's really a 2-year deal. You can get out of that. And then maybe you want to say, okay, instead of paying Cooper all his money, we can just go ahead and give some of this half the money and give it to Gallup and try and keep him in the fold along with CeeDee Lamb, who'll still be under control. But this is a situation they really got to start to ask themselves long term, what do they want to do? And if you think you want to keep rolling with Cooper long term, then maybe you start to ask yourself, is Michael Gallup possibly trade bait for you to try and get some help on defense? It's going to be a very interesting offseason as they decide what they want to do from a receiver standpoint.
Yeah, when you talk about the Gallup situation, I thought they would have tried to get him off, maybe earlier in the season. I think he had a lot of trade value earlier in the season. As it's gone on and his numbers have dipped off, I think his trade value is lessened a little bit. But that would be interesting. I wonder what he would get on the market. I wonder what we could get for Michael Gallup on the market, because I feel like out of all 3 of those receivers, they're all great and they're all good in their own, but I think he is the lesser of the 3. And if we were to part ways with either one of them, I would assume it would be Michael Gallup. So I was just wondering what he would get on the trade market if we were able to put him on the market. Go ahead, Newy.
Cooper's you could keep Cooper. After 2021, you could decide to move Cooper on and trade him if you wanted. Okay, you could essentially do that. But I just think from a standpoint of you're going to have a free agent in Michael Gallup after 2021, okay? Next year's going to be his last year. You got to make a decision. And I think the decision is real simple. Are you going to keep Cooper or are you going to keep Gallup? So if Cooper has another big year, if McCarthy's calling plays and he has a year and produces like the way we think he can, then he may be a guy you decide that you possibly want to trade if you want to keep Gallup. Or you could say you could essentially want to keep Cooper, depending on where they are with their whole salary structure. And I'm assuming that they're going to pay Dak Prescott. That's my take. Because they're about to have issues with the cap if they sign Dak.
As you float that idea out here, just think about if the offense looks the same for Dak, really for everybody else. If you have Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb, or if you have CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup. Like which offense are you picking? And I don't see the CeeDee Lamb and the Michael Gallup offense being as explosive and being able to take advantage of some of the things that you could do with Amari Cooper and the CeeDee Lamb.
Now I think somebody's got to go. I think somebody's got to, because there's just too many mouths to feed right now. Look, when we came into this season, we're going to have 3 1,000-yard rushers, and Zeke's going to get 1,200 yards, and we got Blake Jarwin who's going to be a threat. I just think there's too many mouths to feed right now, and if you get rid of one, maybe that'll give the ball more balls to Zeke. Maybe you'll get more balls to Blake Jarwin as well. I just think what we got right now is it's a good problem, but it is a problem having too many mouths to feed.
Danny, this may become, and this is how I'm looking at it, this may just become a financial decision with Cooper. That's where I look at it, Cooper versus Gallup. This may just come straight up down to finances. And yes, you look and say, well, it's Gallup and it's CeeDee Lamb. But then if Blake Jarwin is able to come back and become the player we thought he was going to become and be able to stretch the field, let's say he could become a baby Travis Kelce for you type of player, then there's another way. And then just, hey, look, what can you do in the draft? But if they, if they're so high on Kellen Moore, so high on your man Noah Brown, then maybe Noah Brown is your guy.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. I mean, we joking, but I mean, the guy came in the game.
That's the guy. Cedric Wilson. They may want some good, but from a financial standpoint, I don't think we can talk about this enough. Dak Prescott's contract is going to limit in things that they can do. So you may have to let Amari Cooper go, so you can try to keep improving your football team.
Y'all know the solution to that one, man. Y'all know the solution to that cap. Y'all already know it. I don't need to say it.
It's the end of the show, and you're not going. It's the end of the show, and I'm not letting you do that. Okay? It's the end of the show.
I'm letting you know.
The cap the year after that might. The cap the year after that may go up, so it may be a little different as we go into that 2022 season.
You're correct. Right. They may get a TV deal done. Last note here: your man Dwayne Haskins, quarterback of Washington, fined $40,000, and they took away his captaincy in Washington. And apparently he's going to have to work from Zoom this week because he was caught in a strip club with no mask on. Alex Smith was at practice today, but Alex Smith apparently was working away from the team. So Washington's quarterback situation is going to be very interesting as they take on the Carolina Panthers. I did my picks in the Dallas Morning News. I took Carolina to win this game. So just saying.
Oh, yeah. I got some Kool-Aid over here for you, too, man. And ain't no amount of booty shaking worth $40,000. I don't care what you say. Ain't no amount of booty shaking worth $40,000, man. That's crazy as all heck, man. He's playing for free. He's playing for free. It's crazy.
Hey, man, it's gonna be his last days in Washington anyway. And Ron Rivera was doing the press conference, and he got so many questions. He got mad. He's like, "We're playing Carolina, okay? Can we talk about Carolina? What are the questions for Carolina? This is what we need to talk about. There's enough questions about Dwayne Haskins. If we're not talking about Carolina, then I'm just going to end this thing." I was like, "Ooh-wee," which just shows you how truly frustrated he is with Dwayne Haskins and talking about it. He was getting fired up about, "I'm not talking about this dude no more. I'm done talking about this guy." So, they got their own issues over in Washington, and they get ready to play this week.
30 seconds, Newy. 30 seconds. I need to know why you picked Carolina over Washington. I'm seeing Washington's defense really stymie Carolina and make it tough on them. And I thought that their defense would make some plays to win that game. You see opposite?
That Kool-Aid's getting to him.
Get a run CMC back here, and I just think that Washington's offense has hurt them. And they won last week because, when they won against San Francisco, it was because Nick Mullins threw them the game. I don't think Teddy Bridgewater is going to do that, and I think that they'll be able to win this football game. And I think Carolina's played tough football all year long. They lost some close, heartbreaking games. I think Carolina gets it done this week.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's putting a lot of pressure on Washington.
I'm taking Washington.
A lot of pressure on them.
I'm taking Washington.
They better win this game.
Okay.
They better win this game.
You better hope that your man Haskins, don't test positive for COVID and can't play this week. And you got Alex Smith to beat up here, so not enough offense for Washington to get it done. Give me Carolina. I'm gonna take the Panthers. Panthers beat their ex-coach Matt Rule. Matt Rule beats the former head coach of the Carolina Panthers, Ron Rivera.
Teddy McClaurin, baby. All those targets to my guy Teddy.
I'm gonna go ahead and sip on this Kool-Aid, man. The percentages are
we will
rising.
talk Monday. All right, the Players Lounge will be back together on Monday. I'm doing a different show tomorrow at 11:30. Danny, where are you at tomorrow? Barry, where are you at tomorrow?
I'm off tomorrow, baby. I'm off.
Okay,
yeah, Danny's off. Okay. I'm on the 9:30 show. I'm not sure if it's called Talking or The Break or the Talking Players Lounge, whatever it's called. I'll be on the 9:30 show, sipping my Kool-Aid as always.
Okay, Talking Cowboys at 9:30. All right, outstanding. Okay, fellas, have a fantastic Christmas for our man Chris Beam was putting it all together. We appreciate you checking us out right here on DallasCowboys.com radio.
Fantasy Football Championship, baby. I'm in it.
Percentages are rising.
Go win it, baby. Go win it.
Percentages are rising.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.